Pharmacy in our garden. Dear friends, let's get to know 3 useful healing plants and how they are used. First of all, let's say that plants are food, not drugs. If we get sick in any way, we should definitely apply to health institutions and physicians. The concept in this video is to recognize and use useful plants around 3 questions. What are these 3 questions? For example, question 1, what are the benefits of sage? Question 2, how to grow sage? So can I grow sage in my backyard? Question 3, how to use sage? Everyone knows that some herbs help protect our health. In fact, these plants can be used as an adjunct in the treatment of some diseases. So let's start. 1. What are the benefits of sage? In the 13th century, sage was seen as a panacea and everyone grew sage in their garden. Therefore, the benefits of sage were emphasized in a string as, if you have planted sage to the garden, what is needed to die? Sage leaves, which are consumed as tea, have antiseptic properties like oil. It is widely known that it is good for stomach and digestive problems and is consumed especially as a gas remover. Sage, which can prevent diarrhea and gastritis, is also used in the treatment of colic. The presence of antispasmodic properties, which prevent inflammation, has also been seen in limited studies. Tea obtained by boiling the leaves of sage tea is also used externally in skin care and healing of some diseases by cooling. Sage bath, which is thought to be good for rheumatic pains, is used for skin and foot care as well as for healing wounds. However, direct application of sage tea to open wounds is not recommended. Sage bark used to protect against acne, eczema and psoriasis is also used to remove skin blemishes. Consuming sage tea twice a day for 15 to 21 days may prevent bad cholesterol from forming. In addition to the disease, which is defined as hyperlipidemic and is caused by the rise of certain types of fat in the blood, it can be consumed within the knowledge of the physician for the improvement of type 2 diabetes and total cholesterol. Again, limited research has shown that sage can suppress the early stages of colon cancer. Antioxidants such as rosmarinage, quercetin and carnosol contained in sage can suppress the growth of cancer cells. That is why it is considered to be effective against many types of cancer. Limited studies on Sage levangelifolia species grown in southern France and Spain have shown that consuming tea obtained by boiling the leaves of this plant is effective in reducing symptoms of Alzheimer's disease. The sage tea, which is thought to be good for the lack of concentration, is also thought to be effective in strengthening the memory. Sage can be good for mouth and gum diseases as well as reducing depression and stress levels. The vitamin K that it contains strengthens bones. 2. How to grow sage. If you are an amateur in gardening, the easiest way to grow sage is to buy a small plant and then reproduce it with cuttings. Depending on the variety, you can plant your herbs like the end of spring, May, with a distance of 30 to 60 centimeters between the plants. Sage usually blooms twice a year, and when the plants are grown in a sunny place, the leaves of the plants become better. However, when plants are grown in very hot areas, shade may be needed in the middle of the day.
Sage is drought resistant and grows best in soils with sufficient drainage.
Plants can also grow well in pots. We can start collecting fresh sage leaves from the spring term of the second growing year. How to use sage. How to brew sage. 10 to 12 pieces of sage leaves in 1 liter of boiled water, or 2 teaspoons of sage in 1 liter of boiled water. Wait for 5 to 6 minutes to brew and consume. Sage should be prepared by brewing, not boiling. If it is boiled for more than 2 minutes, it may turn into a toxic substance. How to make sage tea. Although sage is usually made by boiling, it should actually be prepared by brewing. In this way, nutritional values are better preserved and more intense sage taste can be obtained. Keeping it too long in boiling water causes the plant to lose its beneficial effects and the taste of tea may become bitter. It is suggested that by boiling the sage tea for more than 2 minutes, the toxic components are released and the tea can become harmful. How is sage brewed? Detailed explanation. You can use fresh or dried sage leaves for sage making. 200 to 250 milliliters of boiling water is added to approximately 2 grams of sage and infused for 10 minutes. The leaves are drained and filled into the cup and served. It is recommended not to brew for a very long time, as prolonged brewing time of sage can cause the tea to have a bitter taste. If you have French press in your home, you can use it to brew sage. First add some water to warm up the glass container. Then put the sage leaves and add hot water. After brewing for 5 to 10 minutes according to your wish, push the press down and fill the tea into your cup. Since the leaves do not need to be filtered in this way, it is more practical to use French press to brew herbal tea. You can drink sage tea as a tea or use it as a mouthwash. Gargling with sage can help relieve discomfort and pain in your throat during periods of cold and flu. It is among the known benefits of gargle with sage in mouth sores that are good for wound healing. In addition, sage gargle is said to help remove bad breath in the breath. If you want to try different sage recipes, you can add different flavors by throwing a teaspoon of honey or a stick of cinnamon in your tea. If you don't like the taste of island tea, you can try sweetening by adding honey or sweetener. If you want, you can add a slice of lemon to soften its taste. If you like to drink milk tea, you can also try brewing sage tea with hot milk. That you can drink at any time of the day, either as hot or cold tea. You can also prepare the sage tea, which you can prepare as a cold to cool off during the summer months. After brewing warmly, add some ice and leave it in the refrigerator. You can serve it by adding ice, a few slices of lemon or mint leaves. What are the side effects of sage tea? Some side effects can be seen in excessive consumption of sage tea. Individuals who are allergic to plants belonging to the genus sage drink sage may cause allergic reactions. Although it is known that island tea may be beneficial in digestive system disorders such as nausea, excessive drinking may cause burning sensation and pain in the stomach. Although side effects vary from person to person, it is considered safe to drink 3 glasses of sage daily, and it is recommended not to drink more than 3 glasses daily. Hormone-like components in the structure of sage may cause miscarriage in pregnant women. Therefore, it is not recommended to drink sage during pregnancy. During lactation, it is necessary to consult a doctor before consuming, as it can affect the milk of the mother. It is also not recommended for use in young children. Dear friends, I have divided the videos to make them short. Watch the rosemary in the second video. See you in the second video, friends.